So here's something that a lot of people don't talk about. They don't talk about the options that Game Pass affords you. If we take a very close look at the top pre-orders right now, anticipated games coming out in the next few months, you notice that a total of these games will run you close to about $1,000 if you pick any 15 or 16 of these games that you want to play. I did the numbers before making the video. You can run the numbers yourself if you do it at $60 a pop. So from about $1,000, if you paid full price for all of them, you'd be looking at, playing your favorite 15 or 16 of this list of games. But one thing that people don't necessarily point out is, if you were, say, on the Xbox ecosystem, you have access to options as to how you'd play those same games. And let me explain. For instance, on here on PlayStation, you have, say, Doom Dark Ages, which is coming in May. You have Expedition 33, which I think is an April launch, if my recollection, if my recollection is actually serving me right. Right? You have access to those two games, and you have them at a subscription cost, which is pretty much heavily discounted in any way you look at it. So you can either pay about $1,000 or you can pay about $800 and something, because I have to factor in your Game Pass subscription. If you were, say, to buy all the games and then subscribe to Game Pass, and still you would play some of them, or if you buy all the other games that were not on Game Pass, right? And then subscribe and play the ones that are here that are available on Game Pass, you'll still be spending less. And the conversation that people would try to maybe put in here is that, Game Pass wants to take away your ability to be able to buy your games, which is absolutely not true. You have the option to buy these games if you choose to. It's always been there, because this is just a marketplace for Xbox, and this is the PC, store. You could always have done it. Now, that $800 I cited for you is actually way higher than what I was, than the reality, because look here on this particular list in terms of what's coming to Game Pass, and we compare with PlayStation. We got Doom, and we got Expedition 33, and we got Atomfall, all coming in within the first 5 months, multi-plat. South of Midnight and Avowed, they're going to sit on Xbox. But on PlayStation here, these three games themselves, and by the way, some of you don't believe that you can buy it here. There's going to be a buy button here. You choose the edition, and you go to the game. See it here? You see the price here? It says $59.99. And you can buy Atomfall, or you can buy the deluxe edition. So you can basically save yourself some money if you choose to, or you can buy the games full price if you choose to. Your choice. And this particular paradigm and the way that this actually saves you money is not given enough credit. And you see a lot of the critics say some really strange stuff across the board. They don't want you to take a look at what these ecosystems have to offer. And what I think is the biggest problem is there are just so many people who have basically closed their eyes to even being willing to consider, or even take a look at the ecosystem because they've been told something that's false. I just made a video this weekend where I listened to a bit of a podcast, and somebody there in the podcast ranted for a good 3 to 4 minutes and almost did not say a single accurate thing. Like, I had to open up news articles upon news articles to point out what the truth was. This is exactly the culture that we have to deal with in terms of game conversations today. And somewhere, somehow, sensibility is lost in our conversations. We used to brag. Do y'all remember that we used to brag about getting a deal when it came to games? Did anybody forget? When PlayStation would put out, their deals during the Christmas, during the holiday season, during Black Friday and all that, where we'd be like, dude, I just copped this game for so-and-so. It wasn't that it was never about not having the money to buy them. It was always about being able to be, financially prudent. That was celebrated. That was not too long ago. But now what is actually mocked is you wanting a financially savvy path to playing your games. And what the flex or claimed flex, because there's people that will claim flex, but we don't see their libraries, nor do we know their spending. The so-called claimed flex is that, oh, I spend all this money on games. I just don't know what's happened to our, what's happened to our conversations where we've moved from what used to benefit us, the consumer, to now start supporting the things that are going to take advantage of us. If you get what I mean. Because when we talk about the conversation, and when we go into this whole thing and we start looking at Game Pass and we start looking at what people are saying, you're going to see some people come out with some very interesting conclusions and interesting statements that absolutely make no sense. They'll make claims about Game Pass. They'll make claims about the ecosystem. They'll make claims, like one of them said the ecosystem is subsidized. Pretty much saying that the ecosystem is running at a loss. That's pretty much the conclusion to that, which is absolutely insane for anybody to say. If this thing was basically running at a loss, why does it keep getting this level of games in terms of the quantity and quality? Like, who's that crazy to run this loss? And keep in mind, Game Pass has been here for 8 years. 8 years. A child that was born when Game Pass launched is already that old. Multiple presidencies have changed in many a nation since Game Pass was launched. And people say things like this rather than us diving deep into where the deals are and where the benefits are. Guys, we either face the truth or we are cooked in society if we let these agents continue to lie to us. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. Talk to me in the comment section. Peace out.